Cal, have you ever had any? I was driving today, and I was just thinking in my head, like, what would I do if I just swerved the car into like just a kid? Have you ever had like an intrusive thoughts? Because I think that I have them all the time. I think that. Have you ever just been in a crowded room and just thought, what could I do if I just picked up this kid and booted it across the?
It's true, isn't it? I think it's a thing. I think we all have stuff like that, don't we? I always find it when people are being really annoying, when like kids are being dead annoying in public, and I'm like, God,
I could just punch it in the face. How far do you think you can like throw a kid?
Well, we had this about the guinea pig before I fell in love with him, didn't we?
Oh yeah.
And on that note, hello everybody, and welcome to series 1, episode 7 of Cal and Dom Talk Nonsense. It's an absolute pleasure, as always, to be here. We're going to be covering all sorts today. We're going to have a little chat about Football Manager. We're going to have a big chat about the World Cup, hopefully with a guest, perhaps, who knows. Another little top 5, and we're also going to be doing our very usual features that we love so much, and we will never get rid of, it seems. So we'll finish on the quiz, but I'm with Dom Meadowcroft, and we are going to start with Cristiano Ronaldo, of course. Dom, how are we doing, mate, before we go?
I've had better weekends, to be honest with you. The weekend I actually went shark tanking. Have you ever done it?
No, what's that?
So, like, it was in Birmingham, this like Bear Grylls thing where you go in a tank, like a cage, and there's just sharks flying around you. Sick. It's unreal. I felt like I was Aquaman for a little bit. It was pretty good. My skin was pretty clear after it. Salt water helped my skin. But obviously, nothing else happened this weekend. Nothing else to talk about. No losses away from home. No. But one sec. Let me just get it up.
What is this going to be? Oh no! And Ashley Barnes.
I had to make a review on the Rovers chat about it for 10 minutes, and all I've had so far on comments is Burnley fans call me a bastard, so it's great.
They love using that word, don't they? Ashley Barnes actually used it in his post-match, didn't he? I saw that. Yeah, against them bastards. All right, mate.
We call them dingles because of the Emmerdale thing, but bastards is such a weak, like, all right, cool.
Yeah, I think that could be the worst swear word. That not in a not as a bad swear word, as in like the most. Oh God, why have you even just wasted saying that? You know,
the least offensive word. Yeah, it's in the Bible, I think.
Yeah.
How was your weekend?
Good, mate. Yeah, surprisingly good. Liverpool did well. Warrington got beat, a bit gutted. But I think, you know, things are starting to turn around for Liverpool. The breaks probably come at a bad time now, as opposed to a good one.
Yeah.
What I thought before, football changes quickly, doesn't it? But good little weekend. And then I was getting into bed the other night, and I was just scrolling on Twitter before I went to sleep, and I saw just out of nowhere, I probably shouldn't have seen it, and I'd have been really late to the party, but Cristiano Ronaldo speaks out. And
yes.
Oh my God, did he?
Should we get into it? Should we get into it?
I think we should.
Do you want to read the quotes here? We'll read the first couple.
Yeah, go on. Right. So betrayal, club hierarchy, trying to force him out. Yes, not only the coach, but another 2 or 3 guys around the club. I felt betrayed. Like,
sorry.
Yes, I felt betrayed, and I feel like some.
Can you say it in a Ronaldo accent?
I don't know about that. You're asking a bit there. Yes, I felt betrayed, and I felt some people don't want me here. Not that that's quite good, isn't it?
Right, is he in the Russian war?
No, yeah, mate. Don't get me started on the link between Portuguese and Russian accent-wise. I'll be here all night. Not only this year, but last year too. No respect for 10. Oh, this bit really got me.
Should we start with that first one, the betrayal?
Well, we can do, yeah, because I feel like that one, that's not so offensive for me. All I've done this week is speak to Manchester United fans, friends, friends of mine that support the club, and I'm just fascinated. I couldn't imagine it from my club, and I don't think I'll ever have to. Luckily, I feel like he's the only footballer ever that will ever be able to do something like this. And asking them about it, they're just, they're astounded, but at the same time, they're disappointed with some of the things he said. But stuff like this, they're actually well on board with it. It's what they've been fighting for years. And, the yellow and green Norwich scarves and things like this. And that's going to get me in trouble.
Well, I mean, going off the first quote, yes, 2 or 3 guys around the club I felt betrayed. People should listen to the truth. I felt betrayed. I felt like some people didn't want me here. He wanted to leave in the summer.
Mm.
He wanted to go in the summer. He was going. He wanted to go to City before Fergie said something. It's on his own back, and I don't think that he should be complaining about anything when he,
No.
He's not being betrayed. He betrayed himself, and he's just looking in the mirror. Going on to the second quote: no respect for Ten Hag. The 5-time Ballon d'Or winner did not hold back in his feelings towards the United manager.
Oh God!
Christ. I do not. I do not have respect for him because he does not know respect. Does not show respect for me. He's now in a Lancashire accent. Ronaldo said, "If you don't have respect for me, I'm not going to have respect for you." Pretty slamming that. Any thoughts on that one?
Damning quotes. Yeah, I think as soon as you go on to the manager, that's when it's pretty much end of story for me. I think if it was a past manager, like when he talks about Rangnick, I mean, he's covered all boundaries, hasn't he? He talks about everybody. But if it was a past manager, I wouldn't mind as much because, things happen like that. And then when they go, there is a sense of you can sort of open up a little bit. But the manager that's in there now, it's like a reality TV show. You're getting told things about what's happening right now, which is absolutely mental. And for him to do that, I think that is where he really spoiled himself. And that's where most of the bad things coming his way will be centered on. And disappointing because, like I say, a lot of people are made up that he's standing up against the Glazers and people like that. But when he starts talking about his manager that's managing right this second, you're going to lose a lot of followers, a lot of people that really admired you and looked up to you.
I think that the weirdest thing about all this is I remember thinking about a couple of weeks ago, through this whole thing, I've not heard from Ronaldo. Nobody's heard a thing from him. We've all seen the actions that he's done and, how Ten Hag has treated him and rightly or wrongly, but we just haven't heard a thing from him. We've not had an interview even on the sideline after a game from him. And to just to go back a little bit, to go on Piers Morgan anyway is insane. I think a man who's known for goading you out of answers and he good at twisting the narrative in a certain way and getting some information out of you. I think it's telling that he chose Piers Morgan out of everyone.
Yeah, well, he seems to really like him, doesn't he? And they have struck up a friendship. They've done a few interviews, not as explosive as this, but they have struck up this friendship over the years. And I understand that on one stance, but for it to actually be him that went to Piers Morgan, it almost makes Piers Morgan's job easy because obviously he'll be like all of us sat there like, what is going on here? He'll want to know all these answers. And he's thinking, if he's asking me, I can ask what I want here. I can ask him any question that I want to ask him and I'll get the answers. And it seems, obviously, we haven't seen the full thing yet. That starts tomorrow and then finishes on Thursday. Yeah. And that's going to be
so wait. This hasn't come out yet. This is just like the...
apparently he can't help himself, Piers Morgan, can he? He was tweeted just before we started filming saying more clips to come tonight before... The whole thing is 90 minutes long. They're doing 45 minutes tomorrow and 45 minutes on Thursday. Wow. So apparently you haven't even seen half of it yet.
I've seen Bruno Fernandes handshake Ronaldo today. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
It's very cold. It's very well, obviously he slagged off his teammates. Slagged off his team, slagged off his manager and slagged off somebody else. Carl, do you want to get the next quote?
Who are you? Ronaldo was not familiar with I don't think any of us were, to be honest. He was the director at Lokomotiv Moscow. I think we can
Is that where
be
he's at?
forgiven. That's where he
Yeah.
was.
He's at Austria now, isn't he? I think.
Yeah. Ronaldo was not amused when the Austrian who had managed in 2 of the last 10 years. Oh, God, I thought there was going to be a bit more to that. Was appointed as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's successor last year. If you're not even a coach, how are you going to be the boss of Manchester United? I'd never even heard of him. That one, I will absolutely give him that. I'm all right with that. No issues whatsoever.
Yeah, I think that's the only point where we're like, yeah, fair enough, Ralph. Yeah. I think that everyone was like, oh, Ralph Rangnick's going to come to the BPL or the EPL, and he invented the Gengen press or whatever it was. He was
the worst bit.
Klopp and Guardiola's father.
I remember seeing it because Tuchel was doing well at the time, and obviously Klopp has been doing well for a while. And he it came out, and I remember reading it. I was like, surely not. And it's a fella called Wolfgang who taught Jurgen Klopp. I can't remember his last name. And he taught Jurgen Klopp, and I think Tuchel was, part of that ilk. And Ralph Rangnick didn't teach either of them a thing. And it's just, I remember when it came out and it became a big meme thing, but, like showing the quote and, a big cool quote with a picture of him in black and white next to it. And you think, pull the other one, mate. You will believe anything, won't you, if you see it on Twitter? The
guy's name is Wolfgang Frank.
Yes, that's it, Wolfgang Frank.
Yeah, he was the introduced the 4-4-2 system to Germany at the time when German teams were played with a sweeper, inspired how Sachi had gotten his team to press, marking space rather than individual players. Frank introduced this advanced tactical thinking into German football. He's credited for inspiring a renaissance in the Bundesliga, which has inspired a new generation of managers such as Jurgen Klopp and Joachim Löw.
Is he definitely German, Dom? Just check it.
Yeah. Oh, Christ.
Sorry, mate.
I forgot about that. I was buzzing over that, I was like, you love this.
Yeah. That was the worst bit for me. I was sat there, I was like, I've got to, I can't not.
No, you got to, yeah. It made it a lot funny. Next point on this. Ronaldo hits back at Rooney criticism. I don't know why he's criticised me so badly. Probably because he's finished a career and I'm still playing at a high level. I'm not going to say that I'm... Wait, what?
Yeah, this is so
I'm not
going
to say I'm better than him, which is true.
So he does, and that's exactly what he says.
Yeah. Didn't he call him ugly as well? I don't know, getting that wrong.
I think that's pretty much what he's alluding to, isn't it?
No, yeah. Well, the thing is with Rooney, because he started out at such an early age, and Ronaldo didn't quite start at an early age. I don't think there's actual point here. I think because Ronaldo is such a freak in terms of his physique. I think
of course, that's it. He becomes outstanding because he's still doing it at that age. It's not normal to be doing it at Ronaldo's age. I don't think anyone who's Wayne Rooney's age, I think Rooney's about 35, 36. Nobody around that age should be jealous of a 38-year-old who's still at the top of his game. They should be what he is doing, happily enjoying retirement from playing and going on to do something else in the game as a manager.
What did Rooney say, though? What did Rooney actually say to him? Was he just saying...
Rooney was just... He made a quote. I think he was either on TalkSport. He was just talking to Sky or something, and he was just saying, I'm not entirely sure why he's done the things that he's done. I don't think... the main thing that he said on TalkSport, actually, he was saying that he was surprised at Roy Keane defending him. He was like, that's not what Roy Keane would have done to him if he was in the dressing room with us. He'd have collared him, basically. That's what he was implying. And he's saying it's not the way to act, and it's, not Manchester United, and everything completely true. I think that is the big thing that everyone's missing out on with all this that is winding me up the most. Is no one can say a sentence responding to this opinion-wise without saying, oh, he's an amazing player. So what? What does it matter how good he is? It's nothing to do with how good he is. You can't act like that. Simple as the amount of people that have been on TalkSport this week saying, humming and ahhing. Graham Souness, I loved Graham Souness to bits. He's, my dad's hero and was a great player for Liverpool and a decent manager. And he's on there defending him and saying, I did it at Liverpool. I handed a transfer request in because they said I was going to play. And then 24 hours later, I wasn't playing. You think you're trying to justify something that's not right. You can't get round it. I wish more people would actually call it out for what it is. Call a spade and say, he's being absolutely, utterly disrespectful to everyone surrounding and involved right now with Manchester United. And cut ties. You cut his contract up. I'd rip it up and throw it in the bin right now without any hesitation whatsoever. Doesn't matter who you are. If you're a player in the reserves or you're Cristiano Ronaldo, doesn't matter who you are. It's absolutely disgraceful what he's done. And it winds me up so much that everyone's tiptoeing around it just because it's him. And I get that it's a player of his ilk, I understand, but it doesn't matter who you are. You can't act like that.
It's funny because like a year ago, obviously, like you say, Graham Souness, a legend at Liverpool, obviously he won the last major trophy at Rovers, the Worthington Cup, and he brought us back to the Premier League in our probably best era in the 2000s. Really well favoured at Rovers, but it's funny because a year ago he was slating Lukaku, who were basically saying the same things that Ronaldo was saying. And what I don't know what the difference is. I don't want to, say anything or suggest anything. But Ronaldo is one thing and Lukaku is another. And wait.
Oh, God, It isn't dead. He's not dead. Give it a round of applause, Dom. Give it a round of applause. Yeah, I'm ready for it. Give it one.
No, it's really dead. Yeah. Just popped up Gavin thoughts. An impromptu one. Sue. On to the next point. I think is it your turn?
I got a nice little one, and you've got a massive shit. Disappointment in the facility. Since Sir Alex left, I saw no evolution at the club. Nothing had changed. That quote is actually quite short. I don't know if it says it later. No, I don't think it does. No, it's all right. He goes on about the chefs. He goes on about the gym, the jacuzzi, the swimming pools. He's talking about all sorts, and he actually goes in at the chefs. He says, "Oh, I really like the chefs, but it's the same chefs from back then." It's like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. But I understand a lot of the fans that I've spoken to this week have said, Old Trafford's in desperate need of a bit of a facelift, and maybe the training ground the same.
Have you ever been to Old Trafford recently?
Not recently. Last time I went,
the actual infrastructure is not great. The girders are looking rusty. The outside needs a lick of paint. I don't get the chef thing because surely the chefs just get told what to make.
Well, exactly. Yeah, if you're a good chef, you can. It's not like foods evolve. It's not like he can do a steak from the 2000s, but he can't do a steak anymore.
I'm sorry, we ran out of food. All we've got left is chips in the freezer today. Fucking what? What are you on about? Stupid point, irrelevant point. Probably a point that's been taken out of context, maybe. United are not at the same level. I think fans should know the truth. I want the best for the club. This is why I came to Manchester United. Just about. But you have some things inside you that don't help us reach the top level at City, Liverpool, and even now at Arsenal. A club with this dimension should be top of the tree, in my opinion, and they are absolutely not. Well, fair enough. As Picasso said, you have to destroy it to rebuild it.
Oh, right. Is that? Sorry, Ronaldo. Is that what you're planning to do? Having a proper good go at it. Christ alive. Go on, carry on.
Oh, my God. I love Manchester United. I love the fans. Okay, cool. They're always on my side. But if they want to do it differently, they have to change many, many things. He, Sir Alex Ferguson, knows better than anybody that the club is not on the path they deserve to be on. He knows. Everybody knows. The people who don't see that, it's because they don't want to see it. They are blind.
God almighty.
Fucking lost my will to live through that. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
I mean, that what?
It is exactly what the fans have been saying. A lot of it is,
Yeah.
and this is what is so weird about it, because I feel like he must have people. He must have a group that he says, "I'm going to do this. That's a bad idea. This is a good idea. You should do this." If he had the people around him said to him, "Talk about the Glazers. Talk about all upstairs. Don't be going at the manager. Don't be talking about club legends and all this. Talk about the infrastructure and talk about the Glazers." They'll absolutely love it. And they'll do a statue for you outside. They'll be made up. You might even start the process of getting them out. If he'd have just done that, I guarantee this would be flipped on its head. And I mean, proper. There'd be absolute outcry. They'd probably all be on his side. They'd be saying, play him. Saying about Ten Hag, play him now because of what he said. And he's a legend of this club. He just cemented his legacy. Instead, he's tarnishing it. And it's so weird. It's just such a cringy. Or unluckily, I've actually watched the video footage of every quote on there. So it's all absolutely bang on and exactly how we've read it. He said it. And it's just so weird. It's so awkward. And I don't know. The agenda behind it is terrifying. It's just, I don't actually know what he wants. Obviously, he wants to leave, but there's so many ways to leave a football club. I've never seen this way.
I think the only actions that we've seen so far to this season are Ronaldo. Your Ronaldo's been poor up front for the majority of this season. He scored 3 goals, 2 against Sheriff.
Yeah.
Ten Hag left him out of the team. Fair enough, because he's out of form. United have played better without him. He refused to come on off the bench and walked off petulantly. So Ten Hag decided, you're not going to be in the squad. Fair enough. That's like anybody else. If you decide to leave work half an hour early just because you're not having a good time, you get sacked. Like that's the ultimate thing, isn't it? I think that as well as the fact that when he came back in the squad against Villa, he was captain. Ten Hag has treated this whole thing superbly, and I think that this interview ultimately puts the fans on Ten Hag's side rather than Ronaldo's, and it just adds, maybe Ronaldo's thinking he's a martyr right now. Putting his, slitting his wrists for the sake of God for Ten Hag, and Ten Hag is looking like a god right now. I can't say anything else. Good season so far, and this whole man management with Ronaldo, probably the hardest person you could have other than Mbappe or Ibrahimovic. Definitely them. Definitely.
Of course, and yeah, it's a big test for him. A test that he probably didn't expect to have. Bit of echo there, and it's one of those things for Ten Hag now. This will make or break him as a manager, because this could seriously derail them. Obviously, just before World Cup, he's not stupid, Ronaldo. He knows that there'll be a couple of fixtures, maybe, if any. Yeah, I think there is a couple, actually, before January. He's obviously not going to be involved in the squad. He'll be gone, hopefully in January. So he's pretty much, this is his goodbye message. This is me saying, I'm off, and also, this is what's going on, and you should all know about it. Which, to an extent, like I say, there's a lot of that I like, and a lot of that makes sense for Manchester United and could do a bit of good for them. There's a lot that I hate as well. Ten Hag, like you say, has been brilliant about it. Massive test for him, having Ronaldo, he's supposed to be the guy in this dressing room full of young players like Garnacho, who looks up to him, idolises him, asks him if he can use his celebration and things like this. He's supposed to be the guy that's saying, you should be like me and you'll end up like me and you'll be this good of a player. Look at him now. That Garnacho, the people around him have got to be like, that is the last thing you need to do. Do not be like that. If you don't be like that, you'll be fine. And it's just a very eerie thing. And I think Ten Hag's doing brilliantly, but I would also say he's not out of the woods yet. There's a lot that needs to be done.
Definitely, yeah.
To finish this off.
Yeah. It's the building blocks to it, and it's similar to Arsenal. This sort of starting of it, you had the likes of David Luiz, obviously Aubameyang. you had a lot of older players on high wages and dead wood. Like United have still got Phil Jones, for God's sake, at the team.
Yeah.
Like good professional, but he's dead wood ultimately at the squad. And yeah, I think that to start off with, it's a good start, but ultimately you need to carry this on. And apparently, I said ultimately a lot of times during
I saw this.
You see that coming?
Yeah, I watched. I thought, you did say it a couple of times, but it wasn't. I wouldn't have commented. I wouldn't have took the time to comment. Yeah, to say no, that wasn't what I got from the video. I got a bit more.
Cheers, mate.
But hopefully, I'm praying to God that's got to be the end of Ronaldo chat now. Surely,
has to be. And
thank you.
Yeah, ultimately,
you didn't do that on purpose either, did you?
It's in my head now. I think it's the only thing in my head. You know, when you can't say a word, it's like Tourette. It's like I can't say it.
Right, and on to the World Cup. It's just around the corner. We are very excited for it, and we are now joined by our lovely little Prosecco drinking friend from North London. It's Mr. Charlie Skeggs, Quizmaster Skeggs. How are we doing? Can we get an applause, please? Yeah.
Look at the size of that.
What have you won?
Oh, no. A night off. I've got a night off to myself.
How are we doing, Charlie? You okay, mate?
Yeah, all good. As I say, as like last week, as I'm sure you remember, I was just before a gig when we did the quiz and a bit up the wall that day. Quite the opposite now. As I say, I'm settled down back at home with a bottle of Prosecco. So, yeah, could be happier. Could be happier, especially to see you two as well. So, yeah, happy days.
Yes, love to see it. And we will be talking about just a little tournament that might be coming up in the next week, I think, actually. Just around the corner, crept up on us a bit. Just like to ask you before we start, we haven't really touched on it too much, but your thoughts on it as a whole, like, are you in World Cup fever mode just yet? I feel like I'm just about hitting it now.
I won't lie. I've always been a bit pessimistic about the World Cup for a long, long time. I believe that things like the World Cup and the Euros, and this is why it's kind of a two-part answer, is that I've always thought they're a bit of a waste of time. And I've always felt like international football is becoming a bit of a waste of time. However, I'm the first person at the bar when there's a World Cup match on. I'm the first person with the face paint on. And every Premier League player that I hate, when they play for England, I'll kiss their feet, honestly. So I'm a walking bloody backward person, which is, you know. But no, I just say the World Cup fever. I mean, I say all that. I don't really mean it. I think the World Cup is the pinnacle. You know, we're talking about the world's best players on the world's best stage. You know, international football. You know, it's like, and I mean, right now, obviously, as I'm sure you guys know, this particular World Cup, there's a lot of baggage that goes with it, and without going down the political rabbit hole and stuff, it's still a World Cup. I'm not best pleased personally that it's in the middle of a football season and the potential injuries that could happen to Golden Boy Harry Kane. I'm a little bit nervous about that, but at the end of the day, I will be watching the games. I will be cheering the boys on, and I suppose I know that when the first kickoff happens, I will be in fever. Then I will be in the fever of it. So,
yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, and I think that's the same. I think that if we take the geopolitical aspects out of the World Cup and all the people that suffered just because it's at Qatar.
Yeah.
If we want to talk about it purely football wise, yeah, you're right. It is the best place to showcase your skills, and it is the best place to have the fever pitch feeling. And I know you support Spurs and Liverpool, but as a team that's not up there, this is the only time where I get close to winning something. It's amazing.
Harry Kane is your centre forward.
Hang on, Dom.
I'm like, yes, here we go.
You're talking to a Spurs fan. The running gag is we're never close to winning anything either. So don't worry. It's
yeah, but
I know what you mean. I know what you mean, though.
Yeah. I mean, like this World Cup, not because of obviously what I've just said, but because it's in the winter and it's dark right now, like, as we speak, and it's the 15th today as we record it. It's coming out on the 17th. we'll be 3 or 4 days away from the World Cup,
Yeah.
and England are playing on Monday. It feels like a bunch of friendlies masqueraded as a World Cup. It's such a weird, strange feeling, and I think it's been a bit of a regret in terms of worldwide. Obviously, you got the Qatar fans acting as England fans, which is weird in itself.
Yeah, very weird.
Obviously, Cal, what do you think of it?
Yeah, I saw it before, and the first viewing, I just thought that they were just English fans, and then I was like, I saw some of the comments, and I was like, what is this about? And I just think, like you say, with all the things around it, I hope that the stick that they go with isn't satire, because nothing about it is funny. So please don't try and make it funny. Like, just crack on, let it happen. Someone's going to win it, and then we'll all go home and forget about it.
I think you're right there. I think that it should be, and it's the same thing when, I know there's been some key figures in football. Not so. I think pundits are a different thing, but when footballers are being asked about it, I do feel slightly sorry for them, because at the end of the day, I'm a big advocate for football and politics not really mixing. I know there's certain political movements that the Premier League and stuff does support, which I get. But when it comes to things like this, these guys are footballers. It's the World Cup. This is the biggest stage for them. Yes, okay, is there an opportunity that they maybe in hindsight could have done something to change it, because obviously it was a shit show. But at the same time, it's done now. The World Cup's there. For these players, they should just be able to go and play for their countries and enjoy it. And on the other side of that coin is, they shouldn't be getting involved in the politics side of it, because they've got nowhere to stand. There's no right answer. They're not going to boycott the World Cup, are they? So, do you know what I mean? It's just let them just play football. That's what they do, And like Cal said, it'll be over before we realise it, which is good and bad. It'll be good because we'll forget about it, but it'll be a sad smudge in history of football, but it will be a small smudge, And well, I think so. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but.
No,
just
you're
from my
absolutely
look as well, with the COVID season with Liverpool, watch us go and win it now. It would be so.
Yeah.
So honestly, that would be my life. That you wait 30 years. Obviously, I've waited 26 years to watch Liverpool win a league, and they go and do it in front of no fans. So England to do it in a horrible blood money country would be absolutely fitting for me. I think that's probably what I'm expecting. But I think, Dom, you've got a few questions.
And I think that obviously we don't want to discuss about politics as well, because this isn't why people are here. Essentially, we're here to talk about football and nonsense, essentially. And I've got a few little questions for you. Obviously, without giving your age out a lot between you two, I'll start with you, Cal. What is your earliest memory of the World Cup?
Earliest memory is Ronaldinho. I think there's a great headline about this, by the way. Ronaldinho chipping semen from 30 yards. No, just that game, all that tournament, maybe 2002. Just the entire thing. I always feel like, because it is probably my favourite thing outside of supporting Liverpool, is the World Cup. Even the Euros, I always like. Obviously we did really well last summer, but it's just not the same. And obviously that's why it's such a shame this year, because of what we just talked about. But the World Cup for me, it is a festival of football. It is the big thing. And I can almost name like the theme and where I was and what was happening at each World Cup that's happened, every 4 years since I've been born. And 2002 was my earliest. I was actually on holiday for 2006. That for me was the one. I don't think England did too much there, but just as a festival of football, and I always get fascinated by the footballs at each tournament. Love to see it when it comes out, when they announce it, and just all of it, just the branding of it, the marketing, the way everybody just goes bananas about it in all the countries. It's so beautiful. That's why it's such a shame. That's it now. I'm not going to speak about the fact that it's in Qatar anymore. It's a World Cup, and that's what it is. My first memory would probably be in and around that tournament, 2002, but the Brazil game, and crying my eyes out when I didn't really know too much about football. I was about 6 years old and not really knowing too much about it, but seeing how annoyed everyone was and just picturing it that it was a disaster and being upset. But just the colours, the kits, everything about it, the beauty of it. That's my
Yeah,
first
I
memory.
think that's ultimately what the World Cup is about. The different colours, the different vibes of every sort of team coming through, the different kit colours. And this World Cup, we haven't really seen much of that. And I think that, like you say, Carl, I think that, I don't know about you, but I don't know about you, Charlie, I think that might be the same World Cup. But I think what I remember that in that 2002 World Cup is the teachers bringing out a big, massive TV.
Do you know? I was going to mention that. I was going to mention that. I was going to mention that. Yeah.
So do you want to clarify on what, for the younger listeners, maybe what?
Well, no, it was weird because just to touch on that, and to touch on your point, I am, not ashamed to say I'm a little bit older than you boys, perhaps, but I would say that not that much older. And although I would say that because of how famous it was, I do have a recollection of David Beckham's red card. I do.
Oh, really?
I do have like my dad basically cussing every word of that Beckham that day, and I would have been. God, how old am I? Probably wouldn't have been that old. I may have been about 6 or 7. But the 2002 World Cup was the World Cup that I remember because we would go into the school hall and the teachers would roll out the TV, which is why, when you touched upon it. And I just remember kids one by one falling off, crying, like falling off the little chairs in tears. And I remember one of my teachers who was in the back, because I grew up in Wales. One of the teachers at the back of the room who was Welsh, I could just see him just like clapping Ronaldinho's goal. And I was like,
yeah.
I just remember like those old school primary school chairs and like kids just like crying onto their knees, like just like falling off. But yeah, I think like Cal touched upon it as well. I'm a massive fan of the footballs, and I think that 2002 ball was the gold one, wasn't it? With the sort of weird the zigzag thing on it.
Yeah.
Is that the one? Am I thinking of that one?
The one after is the GOAT, though, the one with the 8s on it. The Adidas 8s one in the Germany tournament. That was it's like the black and gold 8s on it. I can only describe it as that. And that was the absolute GOAT. I remember the Jabulani.
I'm just having a look at the football right now. I'm just getting it on screen right now, sorry.
The 2002 World Cup.
Can you? 2002.
Look at this.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's a ball.
Yeah. That's a ball. What an age.
Get the 2006 one up.
I can't tell the 2000. I don't think I can quite recall.
Honestly, it's beautiful. It's my favourite football ever.
Oh, yes.
That's the one. I love that so much.
Yeah. And in fact, I remember that. Yeah, I think I remember that being on either. Was it on FIFA or something? Or maybe
I had a mate, right, whose dad worked for Xbox, or maybe a bigger company that had stuff with Xbox, with Microsoft, and he had a link with them, and he got a football from work for that World Cup, but it was green, the colour of the Xbox, and we used to play on the park with this like lime green Xbox style with that exact ball. Yeah, and it just has memories of being a kid, and oh god, beautiful. It's weird because it's not something that gets spoke about too much, but as a kid, that was like one of the big things for me. I was like, what's the ball like? What's it like?
Yeah.
The 2006 World Cup reminds me of them footballs and then the little circle night kits, where they have
the numbers. Yes.
And then they have the total 90s as well. Yeah. By the way, the 2022 football is this.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, that's quite tasty, isn't it? Yeah.
It's all right, isn't it? It's quite
strange that rainbow colours.
Why, Cal?
Oh, I see. All right, bloody hell, yeah.
By the way,
the
Korea World Cup, obviously, one of the earliest memories I've had is that Korea-Italy game, where Korea basically stole it from Italy. But in that World Cup, 50% of their wins in history came in that World Cup.
What a great bit of history that is.
What a stat.
Great age. Great age, yeah. But I remember Ireland drawing against Spain, because obviously Ireland were in that World Cup as well. 2002. What a World Cup. Obviously that Ronaldinho. Do you know the word Ronaldinho? The word Ino means small.
Yeah. Little Ronaldo.
Small Ronaldo, isn't it? Or little Ronaldo. Charlie, next question for you is it can be a goal, can be a memory, can be a match. What is your favourite moment goal match? It's like it could be any of them.
Again, I would say that it wasn't my favourite, but whenever I think of the World Cup, just because of where I was, the disallowed Lampard against Germany goal is always there. Like
it's like the biggest, isn't it? Obviously, it's not going to be the favourite. It's the biggest moment, isn't it? Yeah.
But obviously Beckham's. See, I'm really paranoid that I'm mixing up Euros and World Cup, but I think Beckham's free kick, is that a Euros or is that a World
That got
Cup?
to the World Cup in 2002, didn't it? Against
Was
Greece.
that the one? Yeah, the free kick, because I remember that they were talking all about what Beckham could do, and obviously it was quite late in the game, wasn't it? And I remember
it's pretty late in the game. I think it was the last kick.
Exactly. Exactly, yeah. And I just remember
it's a good job he scored.
It's one of those things that like doesn't happen very often when the dream of, or like the fairy tale of, like you say, last kick of the game. How often does anyone really score the last kick of the game? It does happen, to be fair. I know that. I think I saw a stat the other day that this Premier League season has had one of the most like.
It's all from you lot.
Yeah, true. Yeah, true. Just getting corners.
Not only this season, but when you had it, when you were 2-1 down in the 92nd minute last season. Was it last season?
God, yeah,
game with Leicester.
Oh, was that Leicester? Yeah, it was
Stephen
Bergwijn. Yeah.
But it's not just that Beckham goal. It's just the story arc, because obviously said that Beckham, with the red card in '98, he's the one that got you, and he was a man machine in that game. I've seen highlights of it. He's the one. He's basically a one-man midfield, and yeah, the story arc of that game.
I would say that goal. I'd say the Lampard goal obviously has a bit of a sour tone, even though maybe just because I was about 18 and that I remember I was allowed in the pubs and I was with my mates, and then we all celebrated like it went in. And obviously now we live in a world of VAR where everyone's slightly hesitant for every goal. But I remember at that point, like it was euphoric and yeah, the pain of it afterwards. So I'll go with the Beckham goal because the Beckham goal's obviously got a lot sweeter note to it. So yeah,
I like that, getting it to the World Cup. As a Spurs fan, not Trippier in the semi-final.
Oh yeah,
that was good as well. I think that is such a commonly used thing, isn't it? That's when life peaked. When
honestly, that summer, oh my
god! We was doing like a house thing where like we'd all go to someone's house to watch, each round as we got through, and it was at my house that day. I was like, it's typical that we got beat that day, but we was at ours and we had we had friends around, family and stuff, and it was just so unexpected, I think, wasn't it? And when he goes in, everyone's like, even the commentators, I think the commentators are supposed to keep a bit of cool, but they all just went nuts. It was Clive Tilsley, wasn't it? He's the best commentator.
Yeah, he's good. He is right.
And everybody just went mental. I think for a moment, we dreamt then, didn't we? And I remember saying halfway through the game, I was like, I'm pretty sure it'll be France in the final, though. It was like, probably best to go out now, isn't it? Get it out of the way. But
so is that your favourite moment then, Carl?
No, yeah, I think as an England fan, but I think sheer goosebumps has got to be Shabalala's goal on the first day of the South Africa World Cup.
Yes,
because that was never supposed to happen. They weren't supposed to get a shot in that World Cup.
No,
and when it goes in, and it's Peter Drury, another great commentator, and he just screams Shabalala. And then they all of them just go nuts. They all find the composure to run to the corner and do the dance all together.
True.
And the stadium's just going wild. I remember having so many goosebumps. Obviously, I wasn't bothered about the game. Can't even remember who they played. But when it went in and I just had goose, I was like, wow, that's the World Cup.
I think it was Mexico.
Yeah. That is the World Cup. That's probably my favourite non-England memory. Just thinking, wow, that's cool.
What about yours, Dom? What's your favourite goal, Dom?
Yeah, I think the Trippier one, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because in terms of just pure unexpected achievements in that World Cup, we didn't expect to get past we got lucky, obviously, with the route we had, and you can give whatever opinion you want in that route that we had to it. But you play against who you play against, and we were 1-0 up in the semi-final of the World Cup, and it could happen again this time, guys. The hope could happen
again. Better squad, much better squad.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah. But that is definitely my favourite moment. I don't know about favourite goal. The Beckham World Cup penalty against Argentina 2002 was pretty good. When he just smashed it in the middle. That was just out of pure frustration. That was and the celebration to go with it, where he went in the corner.
I think if it's coming to goals, I think England's probably got to be Trippier's, but as a whole, that Pavard goal, wow. Wow.
God. No,
They went
Van
on and won it
Bronckhorst.
that year.
Van
Well, yeah,
Bronckhorst
yeah.
2006. That was pretty good as well.
But,
Cal,
yeah.
we're going to get onto this World Cup.
Yes, because it's a World Cup. It
2009.
is a World Cup.
By the way, it is the World Cup in
Yes.
6 days from recording. There's obviously a few favourites. We're going to go on to that right now. As the screen shows, we've got Brazil, England, France, Spain, Argentina, Germany, Belgium, Portugal, Netherlands, Denmark. Anybody else, guys?
Do you want to go first, Charlie?
I think the smart money would probably say Brazil. However, obviously, I know that's what it says on the screen as well. I don't believe England are 15%. I have to say, I think that whoever's done is. Did you say it was a supercomputer, Dom? Or
I think it
Yeah.
is. Yeah, I think it's a supercomputer. Well, they say supercomputer. It's just some guy who knows Photoshop.
Go on, do that. They'll never question it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Put Wales
Obviously, there's a bit of a cloud over Messi's head with Argentina. I think he's maybe Belgium, or you can never write Belgium off. I think 8% is a bit low, actually, if I'm looking at that graphic there. Money would be on Brazil. I still think Brazil. I still think they just seem to turn up for World Cups, don't they? And it's their competition.
Yeah,
And,
it is.
Brazil are the only nation to be in every World Cup, as we said last week, and they are the bookies' favourites.
Yeah.
So
it's tough. Obviously, at this stage, you never know because a team can come out and perform incredibly well. I think we will go on to dark horses, won't we? So I won't mention that. But I think for me, it's Argentina. You know, had a little look at the squads just to see what was about and who could possibly be as good as Brazil. Because there was a good point made on TalkSport. I can't remember who it was today. It might have been Perry Groves who was saying, I think it was Tim Sherwood actually. Tim Sherwood said that because the World Cup, it's happening as soon as, the season stops. It's probably not going to be on your preparation or anything like that. It's probably just going to go on how good your team is, which doesn't bode well for anyone who isn't South American. But those two squads, Brazil and Argentina, brilliant. I would probably edge Argentina just because. Did you know? I can't believe this is true because of the way his season's molded with Paris and the games that he's missed. If Messi makes the final, the World Cup final will be his 1,000th football game professionally.
Wow. Written in the stars.
That's got to be.
That sounds a bit written. Yeah, that sounds a little bit destiny as well. Yeah,
I would love it so much to see it just for a footballer like that. I know he's had his moments with Liverpool players, but you take your hat off to players like that, and we'll never see another one again. We're lucky to have seen him this many times.
Yeah.
He's got to win a World Cup. I don't think it would matter to his legacy, but it'd be such a shame. It'd be such a shame. So I'm rooting for Argentina if England aren't to win it.
So go on. Argentina obviously won the Copa America against Brazil away in Brazil in 2019, and they are currently 35 unbeaten. If they were to win the World Cup, they would have a longest streak ever in record,
really,
in terms of unbeaten,
Wow.
which is insane. I mean, you two have basically made the two. It's coming home. I think that's my prediction. That's the one.
Is that? Do you think we could do it?
No.
Give it a week. Give me that boozer.
I feel like England should. I think England should have a good run. Sorry, Dom, but I think they should have a good run. There's, but obviously we know that things aren't won on paper. It's a team game, and if that was the case, then England should be up there. But sorry, man, didn't interrupt you.
I think if it's not going to be them two, I'm going to go with France. Obviously, top of the qualifying group. Current holders, which always helps. I don't think that really helps in terms of 4 years later.
Well, we've seen, haven't we?
Well, me and Cal spoke about it before the podcast initially. How much depth they have in their team. Cal, you were saying that Varane and who was it else that was out?
Yeah, so Kimpembe has just been ruled out of the tournament, as has Raphael Varane. And the replacements are Ibrahim Konate of Liverpool and Upamecano of Bayern Munich. It's not bad. It's not bad. Cool.
Absolutely.
Thanks for that.
Right. So I'll say France. I was going to say Argentina anyway. I said Argentina on my own channel. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, I'll put the little thing. Wait, here it is. Bang, there it is. But next, we're going to go to top goal scorer.
Start with me. I just want to say his name.
First of all, we're going to go on to this graphic that we have right now, which is here. Obviously, Harry Kane, Mbappe, Neymar, Benzema, Messi, the usuals. Cal, go on.
Put your money on Darwin Núñez. I've put a £2 bet on him. I don't know if they were the odds, actually. I think they was a bit higher at the time. I think it'd be like £105 profit from £2. I'm not really a gambling man, to be honest, but I put £2 on Darwin to bring it home. I just think they have got quite a tough group, but as we probably are going to ask the question, right, but they are my dark horses. That is it could be a tricky group with Son being fit. So I'm not sure. I just have a feeling that he's going to... Since he joined Liverpool, he's had a real chip on his shoulder with the criticism that came so early. That was unjust, in my opinion, and obviously he's proven everybody to be slightly wrong with how he's reacted to it. Going into a World Cup as... the arc of it, Dom, I know you like to talk about story arcs, and I think there is a valid argument in that when it comes to football. And to see Luis Suarez as the old father figure now is strange. And they've been starting together in a couple of warm-up games up front, assisting each other, scoring off each other. And I think it just makes a beautiful match. And I think with it being Suarez's obvious last hurrah for Uruguay, I think they're going to have a really good tournament. And I think Darwin will be focal to it.
We talk about story arcs. Obviously, if you look at this, there's one matchup that you can see in that story arc. It's Ghana versus Uruguay.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, that is the big game in that. Who played in that game? Suarez. And how did they do in that World Cup? They finished third in that World Cup. And I think the fact that Forlan and Suarez has such a comparative narrative to Suarez and Núñez in this one, it's just chef's kiss. I think that the fact that they finished third in the CONMEBOL, obviously they've only lost 1 in 9. Darwin Núñez is in form, scored 1 in 2 for Liverpool. Yeah,
2 in 1, thank you. 2 against Southampton.
Oh, okay. I meant overall in the Premier League.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. Yeah. I thought you were selling him short then. Don't you dare.
No. On average this season, which is still great. Paul has obviously skewed it, but I think that on my own video I said that Núñez would be the top goal scorer because of vibes. I've got another player, but Charlie, who do you think is going to be the top goal scorer this season?
Chuck up that graphic for me, Dom. Let me have a proper little butcher's hook here.
Go on, there you go.
Because I'm trying to think of who these players have got supplying them as well.
That is crucial, isn't it?
I think when you look at, like you say, the French team and the depth they've got, Mbappe, Benzema. See that France team. Now we're talking about it, that French team is looking pretty scary.
Do you know what? It's scarier now that Benzema's back in the picture because don't forget he was nowhere near France for a long time, was he? And now he's there again, and he's just won the Ballon d'Or.
If someone gave me a tenner, and said stick it on who you really believe, I probably would.
Well,
I do think. I genuinely would say it's between Mbappe and Messi, but I would go with
Messi.
Mbappe.
I like it.
I'm going to go with Mbappe because I do think France are just going to have the wind right up their arse. I think they're going to be flying through this, and I do think Mbappe. I think he's right up for it. I do, and as we've just said there, as we mentioned, to be honest, when we were talking about that, there, I completely didn't overlook France, but I didn't really give them enough thought when we were talking about our favourites. And when you just mentioned, we touched upon their depth. And they just have a knack. The French are they have a knack. They've got.
They have a bloody good squad as well.
They have a bloody good squad. And I think I don't think look at that. Yeah.
I don't think the French have ever said, "Oh, we've got the knack."
It's so romantic that word, isn't it?
Yeah.
Alle knack.
Yeah, I said Z. Is that Italian?
They're not there. I think, do you know, I'm gonna go out on a thing and say Mbappe. I know he's quite high up in the odds, so maybe it's not a a big bombshell. I don't think Harry Kane's gonna have a great World Cup, if I'm honest.
Really?
How do you? Because Conte has said that he's been tired, hasn't he? Recently, he's been knackered. So
he is, and I think that's Harry's attitude, and I think that because I think he does carry himself that way, and everyone who works with him thinks the sun shines out of his ass. And I think he would. But I think that means he's going to start every game. And if he starts every game, and the only games he might not start is if we sew up the group quite early and Gareth Southgate thinks he's got a game where we can risk just.
But it's Wales, isn't it? I feel like
I know.
I feel like we can't lose against Wales in that last game, or we can't draw with them. I think that is. We can't overlook Iran or the USA because they're both good teams, better teams than we probably as a nation think they are. But if we do manage to beat those two teams, it comes to that last game, we're probably already qualified by that logic. But I just think, could you imagine winning the first two? Everyone starts thinking, "Oh, hello," and then we get to Wales, we start putting a messy team out, we get beat or we draw. Momentum lost. I genuinely feel it's such a weird one with Harry Kane because first name on the squad list, obviously captain of his country and probably our best player, absolutely fantastic striker. I feel like he's just got to look himself in the mirror now and know that he's got to play every game. He's got to play 90 minutes every game. And it's as simple as that. And
the way he plays the game now, I think that he with Spurs, he's people talk about the fact that he's been dropping back into midfield and some people say, oh, yeah, that's a necessity. I think that's just the way Harry plays. And actually, in terms of goal scorer, I think that might be the case because he is a big game player. But he's got a lot of players running off of him there. He's got those Sterlings, Foden. Grealish is, I think, is going to have a bit of something to say as well. I think Grealish is a bit of a dark horse in that England team. I say dark horse. He plays for Man City. I've always felt that Grealish is a very, very good player. I think, and he plays a style of football which always seems to work. It's that sort of player that pisses you off when you play against him, and yet you know that whenever he plays for England, I think Harry's going to drop deep, and I think that because he's dropping deep all the time, he's probably going to be knackered a lot. And I don't know I don't think Harry's going to have the greatest World Cup. And I'll happily sit here with you guys in 3 weeks, 4 weeks time, whenever it finishes. Or even not in that, was it? Boxing Day.
Absolutely bladdered. Number 2 World Cup in the bag.
Exactly.
Golden boot number 2 in the bag, and the golden ball.
That's it.
Talk about
and that would be typical me to get it wrong. But I don't think Harry's going to score many goals. I have to be honest, unless we get a lot of penalties, which I can't imagine.
Unless they play Trent, he enjoys when Trent plays. Rarely plays in the England team. He's spoken about it. They've all spoken about it. I don't think he's going to play Trent at all, to be honest, sadly. But he lights up that team. If you've got 3 at the back and you have him there, you don't really need too much cover on that side. You've got 3 defenders there. It's a different argument for a different day. But I can see where you're coming from. I hope he has a great World Cup. But
of course I do. I mean, I'm not trying to put England down, but I just think if I put my football head on, I think that he doesn't play the same kind of game that some of these players play. And the likes of Mbappe and, your Messis and that, I think they're going to I just think they're going to be so hungry and they're going to be so up for it. And I think that their groups, there's a couple of tricky groups there. And I think there's a couple of really exciting groups. But I do think that, as I say, I stick by my initial question. I think Neymar. What about you, Dom? Who do you think?
Neymar.
Not Neymar. Mbappe. Sorry, Mbappe. It's the Prosecco, boys. It's the Prosecco.
That tickled me.
I'll hedge my bets.
Yeah. Gone through those 3, but I'll go with my original
and Nunes.
one.
I think Nunes.
And someone we've not talked about so far, we'll go with him.
Yeah.
I'm just going to, and I'll go with Benzema. Now, enter the next one. Dark horses for the next one. This was a point because it's the same point, but Benzema essentially. Because that was my pick anyway. Benzema, by the way. Dark horses. I'll start first, actually.
Yeah.
I think that the dark horses comes in this group here, and you want to guess who it is? First of all,
Hope it's
it's going to be USA. I think USA are going to be the dark horse this season. I think that everybody writes them off straight away, and that's the face that everyone has, Cal. They finished third in the Common Ball, which isn't great, and I think that they, don't have the momentum. But I think that is key to being a dark horse. That is key to being a dark horse. Everybody writes them off.
Yeah.
Everyone said Turkey in the Euros, and exactly.
Yeah,
because they had the momentum. So I think that with Pulisic, Dest, Tyler Adams, and Aronson, I think they've got a good core there. Wales aren't a great team. Iran aren't a great team. I think they're going to get through the groups, and I think they're going to do well after it. I think that people aren't going to see USA as a big threat, but I think they're going to get to at least the quarters.
Really?
Oh, okay. Because that was my question. Was when you say dark horse, what's
well, it's going beyond what you think they're going to do, isn't it? Dark horses.
Yeah.
But do you think dark horses means that they're going to because obviously the top teams, these teams shouldn't be a dark horse essentially, should they?
No.
I think dark horse means a team that's going to do nothing to something. That's my thought.
It depends what what you believe is the benchmark of if USA get to the quarterfinals.
Costa Rica, Costa Rica when they that sort of thing.
They're always a tricky team as well, aren't they? Costa Rica, whether they do something or not, it's always a tough game. I'll briefly say mine, Charlie, because I have already pretty much said it. Uruguay for me. I think they're going to go deep. I really do. I wouldn't be surprised if I saw Uruguay in the last four. I think they're 2-time winners of the tournament, so it's a bit weird to call them dark horses, but
wait, when did they wait? 1 second. When did they win it?
Well, they won it in no. I just mean for a team that is established winners of the competition, you shouldn't really be calling them you've just named USA.
You've named them 2-time winners. They won it in 1938 last.
Yeah. But they've won the. Yeah, what do you mean they've won it twice?
Are you saying last four? You're saying last four? You're saying semi-final?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see him in the semi-final. I wouldn't be surprised to see him in the final. I think that if someone said to me now with a mystic ball that a team that you don't expect is going to win it, they would be the team that I would probably head to.
No, I get what you mean. Yeah, no, I understand.
Just a brilliant squad. I couldn't believe who some of the members of the squad that they have. Couldn't believe how good of a team it actually is.
Yeah, we spoke about it before, didn't we? Benton Core in midfield, Cavani, is he in this team? I don't know.
He's in the squad,
the only issue that they have is at the back, isn't it? Stuff could be in there, but ultimately, no team is perfect. We're saying that England are one of the favourites, and we've got Maguire at the back. Charlie, dark horse. Who? Any thoughts?
Do you know what? As we're talking here, I'm kind of just looking at all the groups in one, and I don't know. I think that I'm kind of my eye keeps getting drawn to Mexico.
Oh,
Mexico in Group C.
And unfit Raul Jimenez up top, though. That's the only worry for me with Mexico.
Yeah.
But that goalkeeper, is it Ochoa? He's going to save everything that comes out.
I think if Mexico get out of that group and they get a nice draw, they could maybe, like you say, what is dark horse? I think Mexico could maybe. I don't know if quarters. Yeah. I think if Mexico got to the quarterfinals, I'd be like, it's a good achievement for them. Very, very good achievement. So,
it would be definitely.
Yeah,
I think for me, Mexico are a team, and they just so footballing. The South America. Well, I know they're sort of but that sort of American nations. There's a lot of really good footballers in there. And I think Mexico. I would be I think for me that's a dark horse. I think they're a dark horse.
Always a tricky team.
We've all gone for Central and South American teams. I think that.
They will dominate, I think.
Really. Have a look at the groups here. They got obviously
Ecuador, a good team.
Any coming to mind here? I don't know. Saudi Arabia, maybe. Australia, too high, maybe. Costa Rica, obviously. Yeah.
Because is it a dark horse thing to say that Denmark could win the whole thing?
Well, Denmark is the last in this, but obviously, Denmark to get to the semi-final would be an amazing. It's like Turkey and Senegal got to the semi-final or quarterfinals in 2002.
They did well, didn't they?
Yeah. Charlie, obviously, you've not been part of this next segment.
I'm looking forward to it. Go on.
Are you ready for it?
Go on.
Oh, I'm ready for it.
It's random football of the week.
It is.
Obviously,
Heartbreaking
it's our favorite time of the week. But before we go on to random football of the week, Cal, we did have a vote last week, and Maynor Figueroa won.
Oh,
we
we
got a
got
nice
it.
little team going here.
It's looking good.
Shaq Hislop at the
really
back,
good.
Figueroa, Haridison, Chimbonda at the. We got 2 fullbacks. We need a centre back maybe. Hopefully by the end of the season we get a full 11. We've got the front 3. I'm hoping you got a midfield.
Yeah.
Can I just say, Shaka Hislop is such a great shout. I think it's absolutely brilliant.
He's playing up to the tune polls there, isn't he? He wants some followers.
No, I appreciate it. It was mine, so I do appreciate that. Thank you very much.
He beat Leroy Lita as well, which I thought was a brilliant shout for a random footballer. But...
Now, Cal, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Random footballer of the week.
I'm sorry, Ashley Barnes.
Wow.
Damien Duff.
Oh, wow.
Random footballer of the week.
It was a backhanded little jab by me, and it was absolutely haymaker out of existence. If Ashley Barnes beats Damien Duff, this is over. Done. Damien Duff, shout
Please
of
help
the entire random football feature.
Ashley Barnes. Wait 1 sec.
One Barnes has won it.
We did lose 3-0 to Burnley away. Ashley Boys did score 2. He was a big shithouse in the game, and he's the shithouse you need in the team. So, right, Charlie, who's your favourite out of the 2?
Oh, I've got to say, I think that. Yeah, sorry, Cal. Damien Duff. Damien Duff is probably that's best I've heard. Yeah, best I've heard.
Yeah,
I think that's absolutely
I'm voting for him.
Thank you.
Vote for him.
Oh,
Please, everybody vote for Damien Duff because my heart is broken. And,
brilliant. That's a great
Blackburn
shout.
legend, Chelsea legend, Fulham legend, Shamrock Rovers legend. Obviously,
Just a legend.
And obviously, what you can do on Friday at about midday, we will put a poll out on Twitter. Charlie, do you have Twitter, by the way?
I need to reinstate mine. I think
That's a no.
It's a no.
He has got one. But...
I've got Twitter, but I don't think. I think I forgot my password. That sounds really.
Oh, God.
That sounds proper sad of me. But you know what? I'm going to get it back because I'm using mine and Cal's old band one at the moment just to stalk things. So
let's have a look.
Yeah,
well, give Damien Duff a vote. That's absolutely fine.
I definitely will. This is the reason I'm going to do it. I'm going to do that for sure.
Okay, cool. Thank you. I'm hurt. You said you wouldn't do it as well. It's fine.
I know.
For the love of the content. Next up on the list, please let's get part of this. It's Nonsense Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Nonsense Hall of Fame. Pete Bursey did say he would give us a jingle for it, by the way.
Waiting on it, Pete. We're waiting on it.
Pete. Thank you. Charlie, do you want to give us a little jingle for it? Not now.
I'm going to give it a go there. Woo! I need a bit more.
We've done it in the past on the pod. Where we've given jingles and it's just like stuck, I think.
Yeah.
Gammon thoughts, obviously. We'll never rest. Cal, obviously. Do you want to do your
easy?
yours
2
first?
seconds long. I won't take too long on it. It's Cristiano Ronaldo is the correct answer. Muppet. Silly interview. Going to hear more and more and more, and then we're not going to stop hearing about it. And yeah, done. Cristiano Ronaldo. Vote now.
Well, you raise your Ronaldo, and I raise my Sepp Blatter.
Oh, God.
Who has come out and said that human rights was not discussed in the bid during the Qatar World Cup. Nonsense.
Yeah.
Little backhanded compliment there, weren't it? Or like bid, whatever.
In a
Choosing
brown
Qatar was a mistake, apparently. nonsense as well. And do you know how this whole Sepp Blatter thing came about? Like when he got fired, essentially.
Am I right that when the USA didn't beat Qatar to this World Cup, they sent the FBI on it?
Literally sent the FBI. Literally sent the FBI.
There's a Netflix documentary. Netflix have just brought out a documentary. It's basically, it talks all about that. And actually, for those of you listening who haven't seen it, I'd recommend watching it because it shines a light on how mad the FIFA structure is. And
apparently, it's really shockingly eye-opening.
It is, but it's also
how America is that? By
yeah, but it's so like, yeah, you're right. How pissed off must they be? Like, we didn't get the
FBI
World Cup. Yeah, straight to like the worst case scenario ever. Okay,
and obviously America were meant to have that World Cup, weren't they? The Qatar World Cup. This is meant to be in America. Well, the American World Cup is going to be in 2022 because a gesture of peace. That's what he said.
Just
So, like I said to Cal before, this man is my nonsense Hall of Fame is evil.
Yeah, it's a heavyweight class this week.
I was going to say they're both.
Well, last week was a heavyweight one again. Last week,
and so it proved.
You had Gary Neville.
Yes.
And I had Elon Musk as our two because I said Elon Musk obviously bought Twitter for 44 billion and he's now currently a week away from being bankrupt. And Gary Neville obviously went on Have I Got News for You? And obviously
morally bankrupt.
Morally bankrupt, yeah.
So they both go in.
Photos there.
God's sake.
I
hope they become very little photos at some point.
Who do you think will win a football match between like this lot and this lot?
Oh God, come on.
Do you know what?
They've got Pogba, haven't they?
Oh no, this is a better question. Survivor Series, right?
Oh, it's tough. I think, unpopular. I think Herman Haraderson had knocked Tyson Fury's spark out.
Chimbonda will get knocked out straight away from Harry Maguire, but then Harry Maguire will get knocked out straight away from like Shaka.
Yeah.
Shaka, who's the who had the one with the hand on the face? Was it Mankind or
Mick Foley? Mankind. Yeah.
Survivor
Big
Series
one this week,
nonsense.
Big one that Ronaldo.
Oh, that's in the actual week.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about wrestling. I was like,
no.
What's going on?
Big one in the wrestling this week.
See, I'm not a good guest for the wrestling podcast.
No,
neither are we. Don't worry about it. Yeah. So obviously, this will come out just after the Random Hall of Fame, just before. It depends which way I decide it goes. It'll be about midday on Friday again, midday to 3:00. I'll decide how many days it will be on the day because I accidentally did one day this week. That's why I only had a few votes. These two got 5 votes each, so 10 votes, which is fine. It's absolutely fine. But
I have to see the faces, both of their faces. Now, the best thing about Hall of Fame usually is you only get to see one of the annoying faces that you.
Well, what I'll do is I'll make them one photo.
And use AI technology to morph them into person.
Gary Musk, right?
Could you imagine having Elon Musk's riches and Gary Neville's morals?
Fuck.
Gosh, that's ridiculous.
Well, the way around's worse.
Well, yeah,
true.
A quick one, guys. The next one is going to be top 5. Obviously, we did speak about top 5 a couple of weeks ago. We've forgotten about it. This is a segment that's not going to be. It's going to be here and there, everywhere. It's just going to be a first season sort of topic, I think, before we get an actual structure going. Top 5 fast foods. Charlie, 5 to 1.
Nice and quick. Let's get this one out of the way.
Fast food.
Fast food.
God, I'd say if Nando's is considered fast food, I don't know, then that's 5. I can go backwards. KFC is probably number 1. Burger King 2. Greg's 3.
Burger King 2, by the way.
Yeah, I'm massive on Burger King. I love Burger King.
That was
Greg's 3.
They'll indulge you off that.
Oh, no. Honestly, no, I think it's, So KFC for me is probably because I'm obsessed with chicken. I am obsessed with chicken. So,
it's on your badge as well.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Get us a delivery, kids.
What you do in finals as well, don't you?
Oh no!
Oh,
God's
oh,
sake!
God.
Can we get through one podcast?
Where's this one?
They
Really?
won't. No, I can't stop. Oh shit!
Wow.
Right, I'll quick fire. Fast food. I can't lie to you all. It's so boring. Mackey's number one, obviously. Subway 2. Love a
Subway?
Sayers. Yeah, love a Sayers 3. Sayers pies, unreal. Mackey's, Subway, Sayers. Love a KFC 4. And go for Nando's 5 if if Nando's is in there. Nando's 5.
Just about, I think. You can get it
just on
just, I think. For me, 5, Taco Bell. 4, Greg's.
There's always a hipster, isn't there? Everywhere.
It's all right, Taco Bell, isn't it? No?
Yeah, it's all right.
3, KFC. 2 would be Mackey's. And then top would be Five Guys.
Yeah, love Five Guys.
Do you know
Forgot
what?
about
Yeah.
Five Guys.
Five Guys
Oh.
is the lead.
Oh,
Yeah.
gutted.
It's the best, isn't it?
Sayers can do one.
I was going to say, if
Like a
Nan-
pie here and there, but
if Nando's is on the edge, I'll happily swap Nando's for Five Guys because I think
love
that-
Five Guys.
Yeah.
So good. They're so consistent with it.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
But it is like you need a mortgage to get a fucking burger. Though.
It's like £9.
Yeah, but the
£9.
best thing though is you'll pay that much for the burger and then you'll say, "Oh, I'll have an extra small fries," and it's just a bag full of fries.
Hey, I tell you what we do. What me and my fiance do. We get fries, but then we get it no salt. We get no salt on it, so they give us just a full fucking thing for little fries. It's like a little, So say little fries.
They're
with
going
no
to have you
salt.
off for that now, Dom. They'll be like, I'm going to stop doing that now.
We better not do well on this podcast. that life hack.
No,
gets
listen.
sewn up.
If this goes anywhere, season 1 ain't you listen to. Season 2 is where it upgrades.
Yes.
Hopefully. Quick one, Charlie. At the start of the episode, I talked about intrusive thoughts to Cal because obviously I was talking. This is the first sentence of the podcast. I was driving down the road today and I was like, "What if I just like veer my car into this kid here?" Do you have any intrusive thoughts?
Cal knows me quite well. Cal knows me, and I feel like in case this podcast does take off, I need to be a little bit. I often think about rugby tackling people in the street. I do. I often think like, sometimes there's a Liam Gallagher thing. There's a story about Liam Gallagher where in the early days of Oasis, and it was a story which stuck with me forever because I think this is me. There's a story about where Liam Gallagher, Noel, I should say, is talking to someone at like an award ceremony. It's the early 90s. And Liam Gallagher just walks up to Noel and whispers in his ear and he goes, "I wouldn't speak to him. He's got nits." And then walks off. And I just think, that'd be me in a nutshell. Just walk up to people. And my intrusive thought is probably rugby tackling people, though, because it's just, or sweeping their legs, which if you know where I work in the cavern, there was obviously that infamous video of a guy getting my good friend Jay Murray, lovely man, but he got swiped. And
horrible video.
It is. And the way of the world is it definitely that saw the world very quickly as well. That was on like lots of like news and everything. So yeah. What about you, Tom?
I mean, a swerving car into.
Oh shit! Sorry. Yeah,
yours is a bit more murderous, isn't it?
I did speak about football, American football, punting the kid in the face like that. I have those thoughts in public if they're just in the way. I'd never do it.
No.
Never do it.
No.
But obviously, Cal, we spoke about yours. You had a guinea pig and you wanted to see how far you could throw it.
Well, yeah, I fell in love with him soon after, so I don't like talking about it anymore. But we did have a quick discussion as to how far we could punt my guinea pig out of our hands and off the floor.
So you guys are going quite dark, and I feel like it's making me feel like, am I? Is this giving me a little bit of free rein to maybe?
I'm a bit less dark than Dom, though. I don't want to kill kids.
Next week,
Kill
we're going to
kids.
be like, so Charlie didn't make it to the podcast this week. So he's
Does
resigned.
anybody want to be a quiz master?
Charlie's been arrested for yeah.
And now it is time for the Cal and Dom Talk Nonsense quiz. We have already introduced Charlie, so we won't do it again. But our quizmaster is here, and we are ready for the quiz this week. Dom, do you have the scores on the doors, my friend?
Yes, I do. Cal, you're going to be smiling right now.
Already.
Let's see your teeth. There we go. 8-5 to Cal.
Looks good.
8-5 to Cal.
I feel like
I'm
Cal
surprised
already
you got
knew this
5.
as well. I feel like Cal already knew the scores.
Yeah,
He's just-
I did, and I really, this is my favourite part, to be honest. I actually love the quiz, and I'm a bit worried now that this lead is going to play badly for me, and you're going to try your best to even it up a bit. So I'm a bit sceptical of you, Quizmaster Charlie.
Well, no, I think it's a good thing to have a sort of third party, And to be honest, sometimes I'm thinking, okay, But Cal, credit where credit's due. You are fucking pulling answers out of the arse, which is good, man. You're doing well. So if that's a saying,
I shall keep pulling answers out of arse.
That's great. That's great. Right. So, boys, standard sort of what's the word? Standard proceedings. You're going to have a question on history each. Then a question each on this week's Premier League. Dom admitted to me off air that he hadn't watched Match of the Day, so
all I was worried about was the Blackburn-Burnley game, and we lost 3-0.
And in fairness, I just wanted Darwin Núñez to score, and he did twice. So I was well
okay.
away
That's good to know.
That's one question gone. Right, and then we've got
Match of the Day briefly.
Name one player that scored a brace this week.
We've got that. We've got this Premier League, and then we've got our usual call each other's bluff, where one of you has to name or both of you have to think how many you can name, and then you call each other out. So, but we'll start off proceedings. I think. Do you guys want to decide who goes first? Because I say I've always got two sets of questions. So,
Cal,
yeah.
Yeah, I think Dom was first last time. So.
Head or tails?
Oh, go on, heads.
This goes. Wait, how do we do this? So you choose if. Right, okay.
Heads.
It is heads.
I shall go second.
You want to go second? Okay.
Pussy. Right, okay.
Well, I've got my questions here. So, Dom, first of all. Now, this first question is related actually to the Champions League. I was doing a bit of reading on the Champions League this week and some fun facts.
Should have got me on it then.
Now, Dom.
Blackburn have been there one season.
Now, Dom, in the history, this is my history of the Champions League. The first question is this. In a 2014 Champions League semi-final between Chelsea and Atletico Madrid, 3 Chelsea goalkeepers were awarded a clean sheet. Can you name them?
Wait, what?
I'll repeat the question. So, in a 2014 Champions League semi-final between Chelsea and Atletico Madrid, 3 Chelsea goalkeepers were awarded a clean sheet. Could you name them?
2 games, innit?
Oh, right. So, okay. I need to get the
answers up.
2014 semi-final. Well, Petr Cech.
Yep.
That's tough.
That's so hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
2014.
I think I can allow a hint if you want it. Because Cal's question's got multiple choice, so I think it's only right that maybe I'll give you a hint. It doesn't have to be fair. It doesn't have to be.
Can I have one wrong guess? Is that right?
Yes, of course, to be fair, you can.
Higuela? Is that his name? Higuela?
Was it? How do you pronounce it? It's not him.
Higuela?
It's not him, but how do you pronounce that?
Higuela.
I don't know. I'll tell you what. I'll give you a hint, Dom. I'll give you a hint, Dom. Right?
No, wait.
Well, the hint is this: of the 3 Chelsea goalkeepers, one of them was playing for Atletico Madrid.
Oh my God! You might as well have said his name.
Oh, Courtois.
Okay.
Oh, it was. Okay. Sorry. Who was the second goalkeeper that day? Number 14. So it was like a weird period where they had like Mark Schwarzer and all that. So that was like 2019 though. I think that 2014. Did they win that game? Can I ask that?
So
Did they get? Is that when they got to the final?
Well, let me repeat the question so you'll kind of guess it. 3 Chelsea goalkeepers were awarded a clean sheet.
So they can't have done too badly.
Tell us a multiple choice question here.
You've had multiple fucking goes in it as well.
Nah, okay. I'm gonna say I haven't even got a guess.
Trust your gut, Dom. I'd say trust your gut.
I can't. I don't know anybody. Ross Turnbull.
I'm sorry, my friend. You should have followed your gut because you mentioned his name, Mark Schwarzer.
The fact that he pulled Mark Schwarzer out the bag is one thing. I would have never. I was going to say Asmir Begovic, mate.
Oh no!
Yeah.
I was going to say like Bettinelli or something like. What? When did March? I'll
tell you what, Cal.
I don't know. No, I got it wrong.
I don't know. He had about 8 minutes.
No, I did get. Yeah, carry on.
Okay. So sadly not. Now, Cal.
Yes.
Your question: Champions League. Real Madrid have the most European Champions League, UEFA Champions League titles with 14.
Yes.
Which team has the most runners-up medals?
I know this.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Go on. No, wait, is there an option or is it?
Oh, yeah, that was multiple choice.
Is it Bayern Munich, Real Madrid again, or Juventus?
Mark Schwarzer, fuck off.
Jesus.
A tough one. That would be a guess for me, by the way. I wouldn't have a clue.
Really want to go for Real Madrid again, but I'm going to go for Juventus.
With 7 runners-up medals, it is Juventus, yeah.
Get it.
Well done.
Well done, Cal, well done.
I thought, why would he put Real Madrid again?
Well done.
And I remember reading it. I don't think that's far away, to be honest. I think we're quite high up on that list.
Yeah, I was looking at it today, and I think, Liverpool are up there. Bayern Munich have 5, I think. AC Milan have got 4. But yeah, with 7, it's Juventus.
Have they ever won it?
No. Oh, yeah, twice. Sorry,
twice.
twice.
Yeah. In 96, I think, was it 96 and some other time. But they won it when it was like...
Champions League is just not my...
All right, boys. Next section is this. Next section is the last week of Premier League games. The last week of Premier League games before the World Cup as well. So, Dom.
Yes.
My question for you is this. Who is the only player this week to have scored against his former club?
Let me just put this here. Okay, so I watched the game. It was Fulham. Dan James. Has to be.
Correct, Dom. It is correct.
Yes! I actually watched that one. Hungover. Come on.
Yes. Well played. Well played. So there's a point there for Dom. Right, Cal.
I'm clinging on to something here. I feel like San Marino right now, but it's absolutely fine.
Yes.
Which Premier League, how many Premier League fixtures had a goal scorer that was not British?
Oh, what?
What? Wait, say that again.
So there's a fixture or more than one potentially, but there's fixtures in the Premier League just gone where there was not a British-born goal scorer.
Define British, though.
Define British is they were either born in England, Wales, Scotland, or Northern Ireland.
Wow. That is the hardest question I've ever been asked in my life.
I'm sorry, what? I got Mark Schwarzer and got it wrong.
Oh my God, I've just got to guess a number here.
I think I've got it, actually.
2.
And which games do you think they were?
Oh, God knows. I don't have a clue. I can't remember. I don't even know who played.
Right, well, I'll tell you what. There was only one game. So if you said 2, you might have guessed one of them right. So one game had only, no British-born scorers in it.
Right. Oh, so you're giving me a chance?
Well, you said 2, and that's not really fair because you would have had to have guessed one that wasn't right anyway, so that's not really fair. So one Premier League game.
Oh, so that's one wrong guess. Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
One Premier League game. I need to think about who played who.
Blackburn. It was the Blackburn game. Ashley Barnes is from Austria.
I don't know. Newcastle, Chelsea.
I've got it, by the way.
It's obviously not that one. Who even scored for Newcastle?
We can get to that at the end of it, but
when you tell me the correct answer.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Is that it?
I'll give you one more chance, Cal. One more chance.
Oh my God, I don't even know any of the games. Oh God, I hope it's not hard. Wait, who scored for Southampton? Darwin scored 2. Bobby scored. Oh my God, who scored for Southampton? I don't even care. We're going on too long. Liverpool, Southampton.
That is incorrect.
Yeah.
So
who scored for Southampton?
A guy. Yes. So in the game versus Manchester City versus Brentford, 2 goals were scored by Ivan Toney. No, I'm going through it. So
can I answer it?
Yes.
You don't get a point though.
Can I answer it? It was the Odegaard double for
Yes,
Arsenal.
it was. Because you see,
I know. I know the Sunday fixtures. The late Saturday, Sunday.
Should have known that. Should have got that.
So
I didn't know any of this.
In the City-Brentford game, Ivan Toney and Phil Foden scored. In the Bournemouth-Everton game, all 3 of the Bournemouth players who scored were English, or Welsh, I should say. In the Liverpool game, Che Adams, who is a bit of a red herring because he's born in England but plays for Scotland. In the Forest, yeah. In the Forest versus Palace game, Morgan Gibbs-White is English. Spurs versus Leeds, we have both Harry Kane and Ben Davis. West Ham versus Leicester was Maddison and Harvey Barnes. Newcastle was Joe Willock. Brighton versus Villa was Danny Ings. And as we touched on before, Fulham versus Manchester United, Dan James, the Welsh little wizard, scored. So the only game that didn't have one was the Arsenal game, which was Martin Odegaard's double. Now, boys,
do you know what? I've got him on my fantasy team as well, and I was made up that he scored 2.
Now, boys, as I say, this is it. This is where you need to start staring into the whites of each other's eyes and bluff.
Do you know what though? Just as a focal point before, I haven't done one yet, so Dom can start, and I'm going to try my best to actually answer this one.
Yeah,
right.
Please.
So, in typical fashion of the World Cup coming up, how many of the 19 in total managers of the England national team could you remember? And I'm including caretaker managers as well. So even if they only took care of one game in charge of the caretaker manager, and this dates back to What Wikipedia says was the first manager in 1943. There's probably one before that, but good luck if you can remember that. So,
Oh, God.
Is it
What, so
10?
there's 14 in total?
there's 19 in total. How many do you think you
19.
two could get?
11, if he says 10. Oh, God.
How long have you got? How long has he got?
I was going to say, what do you reckon, guys? If you
It's got to be 2 minutes. It was 2 minutes last time, wasn't it?
Let's do 2 minutes. In 2 minutes, how many do you think you can name?
12.
Okay.
I will go 14, final answer.
Yeah, do it.
Oh, God. I've got to do it. I've got to try it. No, there's few that I remember. I do remember quite a few of these. Go on.
So, Cal,
ready?
your 2 minutes starts now.
Gareth Southgate.
Yeah.
Sam Allardyce.
Yeah.
Roy Hodgson.
Yeah.
Fabio Capello.
Mm-hmm.
Steve McLaren.
Mm-hmm.
Sven-Goran Eriksson.
Yep.
Terry Venables.
Yep.
Graham Taylor.
Yep.
Sir Bobby Robson.
Yep.
That's right, isn't it?
Yeah, you're doing well so far. Keep going.
Ramsey.
I'm not. I'm honestly keep going now.
How many am I on?
You're on 10. You need 4 more.
Fucking hell.
How long does it go? You got about a minute and a half, haven't you?
It's got a minute and a half yet. Just under.
Off. I don't know.
I can name 4 right now, actually.
4 other ones.
Yeah.
Glenn Hoddle.
Hang on, what?
Glenn Hoddle.
Yep.
Yep. It comes difficult now, isn't it? 90s.
Yeah.
Got 3 more.
Wait,
Come on.
Kevin Keegan.
Yep. 2 more.
Oh my God! How long have I got?
You got 48 seconds.
Did who was the rival of what's his name? Clough, the Leeds fella.
Oh, what was his name?
Don Revie.
Nice. Well done. Well done.
Don Revie.
Yes. You got.
How many do I need?
I think you need 1 more.
Fuck. How long have I
In
got?
how long?
20 seconds.
Ah, fuck. I'm thinking assistants who might have had a chance. Interims.
11, 10.
Oh, fuck.
9.
8.
Steve McLaren, have I said him?
Yeah.
You did.
5.
He was
Is that
under
4?
21s.
3.
Stuart Pearce. That's not right.
Oh, Cal! At the death,
I
you got
fucked it.
Stuart Pearce. You got
Fuck
Stuart
off.
Pearce. Yeah.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
Never.
When did Stuart
Never
Pearce,
in
when
a
was
million
Pearce
years.
manager?
No, he
Stuart-
didn't. I thought he was
Stuart-
under 21s manager.
Stuart Pearce was a caretaker manager for 1 game in 2012.
Oh my God.
At the
How have you
death.
got that?
You got that in the death. Wow, Cal. Fair play. Your
Fair play,
streak
well done.
continues.
I think
Yes.
I've got Hal Wilkinson and Peter Taylor.
Yeah, they're both.
Did I not say Peter? Oh, I thought I said Peter Taylor because he was with the under 21s. Did I not
you
say
said
Peter Taylor?
You said Graham Taylor.
Fucking hell, I should have gone there.
Can I just say, Don Revie, what a fucking shout.
No, because
Yeah,
I remember they said that Brian Clough should have got it, and Don Revie was like top dog with Leeds, wasn't he? I had that. I knew that Brian Clough. I had that was an all right one. If I remembered his name, I knew that was one of them old school.
The 5 you didn't get.
Go on.
Well,
Is
Is
there any obvious ones?
Well, the first one, according to Wikipedia, because I'm a bit basic, so I don't actually know
Howard
myself.
Wilkinson's a fucker.
Yeah, Howard Wilson was one of them. A guy called Walter Winterbottom. I know. Ron Greenwood. Did you say? I don't think you said Terry Venables.
Oh my God. Did I not?
I think you said Terry Venables.
Fuck's
Yeah,
sake.
but I mean, you've done well there. Fair
Yeah.
play.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I made up to get the point, but
Cal.
fucking hell. Terry Venables. Thank you, mate.
Yeah, well done, mate.
And who else was there? To be fair, I think that there was 5 he didn't get. So
Stuart
Peter-
Pearce. What
I
What
can't
year
believe
was that?
that's right.
It
That
was
a
in
blag.
2012. 2012, he took care of one game
Fucking hell.
Fucking hell.
as caretaker.
You said it,
manager
I
as
was
well.
like, that's not right. I've won.
No, he's always been in and around it, though, hasn't he, back in the day and stuff? But
Psycho,
I just-
little psycho.
Well done,
Oh.
Cal. I think that puts you 4 ahead of
how
me
have,
now.
how have I not got Terry Venables and I've got Stuart Pearce?
I know, innit?
That's
It's the easy ones, it's the simpler ones. But hey, man, that's
Howard
Stuart
Wilkinson.
Pearce.
I knew he was manager as well.
Well, Howard Wilkinson was only a caretaker manager twice.
Oh, what,
yeah,
really?
it was. Yeah, I remember
Oh,
that.
God.
Yeah,
I remember he's done it.
But listen, Cal, have to say you keep outdoing yourself.
I've never done that before. I'm never doing it again, by the way. I'm calling bullshit. every
horrible,
week.
isn't it? It's
Nah,
horrible.
it's fucking horrible. Horrible.
Brilliant.
That USA one was
I'm
the
1 out of
worst.
2 out of it. I can't remember what was
I'm
that?
never doing it again. Never again.
What is mad, you know? When you said, "Oh yeah, cool," I was like, "Fucking no chance." But
Yeah.
fair play, absolutely
No,
fair
I
play.
need to do it. I've not done it once yet, and I can't just keep saying, "Oh no, you can't." I can't.
Yeah, and absolutely that calls calls the curtains to the podcast. So, Charlie,
Yeah, off.
what an absolute treat it has been. You've been on not only for the quiz, but for most of the pod. We want you on most of the time. I don't know about you, Cal, but let's get him on full time.
Yes, get him full time. Get on it, Charles.
Hey, listen, it's always a pleasure to join you boys. And even if it is just to get your brains working for a few minutes, or if you want to get some of my boring nonsense opinions, I'll be here whenever you need me. So don't worry, guys.
And obviously, Cal, thank you for being on. Any final words?
Yeah, no, just absolute pleasure as always, Charlie. Thanks for coming on. Brilliant quiz as always. Yeah, absolute pleasure, mate. Hope to have you on more often. It was good to have you on for quite a bit today.
Yeah, whenever you need me, honestly, let me know. If I'm not busy, it's always nice to chin web with you guys. Anytime. Thank you so much.
Love it, mate.
And that is the podcast done. I think we're about 2 hours in. If anybody's listening by now, we do appreciate all the likes, comments below on the podcast. Anybody on Spotify, we do appreciate that too. And we will see you next week for the World Cup. Looking forward to that one. See you
Nice
later,
to have
guys.
it.
Peace.
Coming home. Coming home.